Hi, I'm going to show you a little bit what I go through every morning to get my prosthetic leg on. So I'm in bed, I have to get up and I transfer to the wheelchair. And usually as I get up I put a slipper on my foot, and I've got a little one of those hospital sticky socks so that I can, if I move around without the slipper on, I don't slip and fall. So the first thing I have to do is I have to take off the shrinker sock. And this is an elastic sock that helps keep all the fluid, or a lot of the fluid, from pooling in my leg and causing my leg to swell overnight. And then underneath that is called a sheath, and that's a real nice nylon stocking that helps protect my leg and sort of keeps the roughness of the shrinker sock from damaging my skin. So I take those off every morning. And then now I just added, just 2 days ago, a new piece, and this is called the liner. So I have a silicone liner that I put on, and that's really what holds the prosthesis on my leg. But the silicone is sort of sticky and it stretches, and I was getting some redness and skin breakdown because of that. So they gave me a liner to go inside the liner, and its name really is Liner. So I have to put that on, and just started using this, so it's a little bit new to me. But one of the big difficulties is putting the liner on. I've got the post here on the end, and it has to end up being straight, not just vertically but also horizontally in line with my leg. And you have to put it on by turning it inside out. So it becomes very difficult to line up the first time, and so you have to usually try several times. Occasionally I get it the first time, but more often than not I have to do it several times, and I've been a few times where I've had to do it over a dozen times. So you roll it inside out and then sort of place it in general where you think it is, and then you start rolling it back up your leg, sort of like a snake swallowing your leg, and that's off. So I have to reposition it. The problem is now with this liner is it tends to pull off whenever I pull this down. So I'm starting all over from the blind, so this makes it a little bit more tedious at times. How many times this is going to take me to get this right? That actually looks pretty good, so we'll go with that. With an audience, I'm doing well. So now I have the silicone liner on the leg. The next part of the prosthesis is called the foam liner, and it's covered by a sheath. The sheath on the outside of this just makes it slide in and out of the prosthesis a little easier. But this foam liner, we've been adding various pads, and then also sort of roughing it up and taking some of it out. It's sort of a good place to add some pressure to different parts of the leg as my leg shrinks. So, but when I put that on, see, like right there, that just slid on. That's too loose. So I have a number of different socks. So if you ever see me, I always have this black backpack. It's because I have to carry a big wad of socks with me. During the day, your leg changes shape. It continues to sort of shrink as you're on your leg with prosthesis. So in the backpack, I have different layers of socks. This is a number 2. Here's a 3-ply sock, and then a 5-ply sock. And I have multiple 2s and 3s in a pack right now because I have a 2, then you go to 3. Well, if you need a 4, you use 2 2s, then a 5, And then if you need 6, you got 2 3s. So I'm always carrying socks around. By the time my leg totally atrophies and I get my final prosthesis, they said I'll probably be wearing up to 10 ply of socks. So one of these socks then, right now I'm going to try a 2. I think that's what I need. And then also you get all this on and you realize, no, that's not enough, or that's too much, and you have to take it back apart and start over again. So I got the sock on. Now I pull the foam liner on, and the pin goes through the hole on the bottom of that. Pull the sheath up. And now I'm ready to put my leg in. So put the leg in. As I'm pushing my leg in, you can hear the air go out of the lock, and then you start to hear it ratcheting as I push my leg in to lock it into place. Right now I'm having some trouble with this locking mechanism, and it's clicking while I'm walking, and they haven't been able to fix it. They said about every 2 years one patient has a prosthesis that clicks, and I'm the guy. So then if I'm going to just walk like this, change into my prescription shoe. It's a special shoe made for me. I have an orthotic insert made to help especially support my arch, which my arch of my foot collapsed in the other foot, and that's what led to the amputation eventually. So they want to protect this foot. So this is my shoe that I get to wear, and I found that if I put it on really tightly, it feels much better. So I crank the laces down pretty good on there. And then I'm ready to stand up. And that time, I don't know if you heard it, but there was another click as my leg went locking into place a little bit farther. So usually I have to stand here a minute when I first get up in the morning. That calf area is a little bigger, and it's sort of tight as it goes in. It sort of is a little bit painful. So I stand there and let that sort of settle in, and sort of get my muscles in my legs all loosened up and sort of warmed up, because I have to use a lot more of these muscles a different way to be able to walk. So that is putting on my prosthesis in the morning. Then throughout the day, depending as my leg reduces in size, there's a button on the side of my prosthesis. I push and pull it off. Take the foam liner off. And then, as needed, change the number of ply of socks that I'm wearing to keep that tight so my leg doesn't wiggle too much on the inside, because that's one of the ways I get sores and problems. So that's what I go through every day to get dressed.